I'm going to do a screencast now for the fourth theory of democracy based on the text from Hippocampus. So you can just follow along with me and you can learn about the four theories this way. So the four theories of democracy have to do with how democracy works in the United States and different ways of looking at it. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln defined democracy as something that you're familiar with. You've heard this before. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But that means different things to different people and how it actually can work. So the four theories of democracy have taken shape over time, and really it's how you see public opinion and politics working to help make policy or make laws for our government. The traditional theory of democracy promotes the idea that the majority will rule, which is what we're familiar with. It takes more than half the people to vote for something, and then it will become a law. But an important part about that is it does so without violating the rights of the minority. So you have to be willing to compromise and to work together to get a majority to pass the law, but you also have to recognize that you can't pass laws that are going to hurt the basic protections that each person gets a right to enjoy. So you can't pass a law to minimize free speech. You can't pass a law to take away guns because those are rights protected for the individuals. The next type of theory of democracy is the pluralist theory. And the pluralist theory says that people that hold common interests will organize to promote their causes to influence lawmaking, and that no single interest group or agency will dominate politics. So the idea is you have a healthy competition between these different groups. Could be unions, it could be associations, it could be interest groups, it could be political parties, but that those groups work together to, or they all work toward trying to get what they want, but they have to realize in the end that they'll have to compromise and work together in order to pass laws. So pluralists think that through compromise, laws can be passed. The next theory of democracy has to do with the elite theory or class theory. And that's pretty basic. It's the idea that if you have a lot of money, if you have a lot of power, and that most of that money and power is held by a small number of people who disproportionately get more say than other people. So elite theorists say, you know, if you have a lot of money, you can pay people and support their campaigns and support your interests through money to get what you want. And the final theory of democracy is called hyperpluralism. So we talked about pluralists earlier, and we decided that pluralists believed that through compromise, interest groups can work together to get what they want, at least the closest version of what they want through compromise. Hyperpluralists are kind of the opposite of that. There are still interest groups that really have very common interests that join these organizations to promote their causes. But because they're so focused on what they want, they're unwilling to compromise, and that causes gridlock. That's the term I want you to remember that has to do with hyperpluralism. Hyperpluralists think that the parties or the interest groups are unwilling to compromise, and therefore not enough momentum, not enough votes to get the majority needed in order to pass a law. So although each of these theories are quite different, they share a common idea. And the idea is that people, either as individuals or groups, can make a difference. In other words, people can work together to try to make change. They have a voice in government.